This is Con. I'm going to be talking to y'all today about the bolt-action rifle. This is going to be the first episode of Red Dead Online in depth, and we're going to cover every weapon, card, tonic, piece of equipment, everything in the game over the next couple weeks or months. And we're going to do it mathematically. We're going to do it systematically. We're not going to do what most players in the game seem to do, where they go by feeling. For resources, we're going to be using the Captain Balrick's arsenal, as well as some testing that Illustrious, as well as several of our friends, have done in the past. So, let's go ahead and get started today. In the background, you're going to see a bolt-action only gameplay in King of the Castle, so just be aware that that's what's on the screen. It is going to get interrupted on occasion for stats and the like to come up. Speaking of which, the bolt-action rifle does 58.5 damage up until around 70 steps. It does 32 damage up until around about 80 steps, and it does 16 damage past that. It doesn't have a full damage disappearance until over 150 meters, which is insanely long. You almost never get in a fight with that. Now, its maximum damage range, where you get the maximum amount of damage per shot, is 60 steps, which, for reference, 60 steps is a little bit longer than the Navy's lock-on. Your per-shot fire rate is 1.15, so it takes you a second and 15 milliseconds to fire a shot. Your full reload, like reloading all 5 shots, is 2.75 seconds. Your per-shot reload is 0.30 seconds. Now, your recoil on this gun is low to moderate, depending on the ammo type you use. Having something like split point or high velocity will help you a lot more than you would ever believe. Your lock-on is 85 steps, which is the farthest lock-on in the game. So if you're trying to do the paint flick strategy, it is the best weapon for that at long range. Your headshot kill range is going to be 70 meters iron sights, like we're using it in this gameplay for most of it, or 120 meters scoped. Your maximum PIB range is 190 steps, and that's about the same thing. You're never going to be firing this gun at that range, because you won't get enough damage out of it. Alright, so from here, we're going to be talking about strategies and how you should use the bolt action. Obviously, one of the strongest ways to use it, like it is one of the strongest ways to use almost any weapon in this game, is to use it with painted black, because you'll have no accuracy bloom unless you're firing at slip players. Now, I don't actually think that the bolt action is a weapon that's most suited to painted black, because of how accurate it is by default. It has a lot more utility on other things, like the tank build, focus fire, even slip for popping out and using shots. Where the bolt action really shines is that a player with a Lancaster can't lock onto you yet. And as we all know, the Lancaster is a fan favorite on Red Dead. It also does enough damage that up close you can still use it as a weapon. If you're a paint player, then when you go to shoot somebody, you can absolutely paint them 5 times and kill them. It is a strong enough weapon with body shots that you can reliably use them. The easiest way to think about it is that the bolt action does half the damage of a rolling block, about. So 2 shots with it is a rolling block shot. Now, it is a lock-on weapon, so you want to be very careful with it. But it has characteristics like the accuracy that we've been talking so much about that mean that you can reliably go for headshots. And that's a big advantage. Now, right here, you're actually going to be seeing me out of lock-on range, And in a little bit, you're going to be seeing me use the scope on it as well. Because the scope can flip down, the bolt action is actually one of the strongest weapons to use as a quick and dirty counter for Slippery Bastard. And if you run Sharpshooter on your build, you can also use your scope as an instant focus fire, because it'll give you 20% extra damage. There are a couple of tricks you can do to cause lock-ons where you still have your scope up, and we'll cover them probably with the sniper rifles later on in the series. But it is an extremely strong weapon. That's the point that's trying to be made here. I personally don't like to get out in the open a lot with the bolt, just because of the fact that you don't have the fire rate to compete with a semi-automatic shotgun, to compete with dual Mausers. You don't have the Lancaster's god-awful, amazing spam capacity. And because of that, you do have some penalties for using it. Your shots matter a lot more. If you're up close and you miss with this gun, you will not be happy. And that's not a situation that you want to put yourself in. I like to find corners, peek around them, and use the superior accuracy. It is the most accurate long arm you can have that does not have a scope on it by default, meaning it is the most accurate lock-on long arm. If you're going to use a weapon outside of paint, this is going to be on your kit, unless you're doing maybe the Navy's or the Gunslinger's Choice strategies with the pistols. It's just that strong, and it gives you freedoms that other weapons just don't. It is a baseline weapon, but it kind of has the same thing going for it that a lot of the best weapons in the game do, which is that it can serve multiple purposes in the game. It's strong enough that you can use it as a long-range weapon. It shoots far enough you can use it as a long-range weapon, but it also shoots just fast enough that you can hip fire it at someone and hope to kill them. One of the real downsides is that it is a weapon that everyone knows. And people don't seem to be very scared of it, which they probably should be more. The bolt action is an extremely strong, extremely versatile weapon, so don't sleep on it just because it's the first rifle you get. I'd say, in my opinion, it's better than 3 of the other rifles you have access to. It's definitely better than the Springfield, and it's probably better than the rolling block at the end of the day. So, where the bolt action shines is that it is a defensive weapon. It's not a weapon that you're going to be rushing in and trying to kill 30 people with. It's a weapon that you can use to take out 1 or 2 people as they push you extremely well. You're going to notice that in this gameplay I do a lot of flipping the camera over my shoulder. I don't really get out in the middle and try and do the spinning, diving battle thing that a lot of people do with weapons in this game. I don't find it to be an efficient way to play, and I don't find it to be a good way to get better, personally. In any actual fight, you're going to take cover. 90% of the time. The bolt action is a good weapon. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. We'll have some more stuff coming up with some of the other weapons. If there's something in particular you guys would like to see, let us know, and we can get the testing and the numbers on it ahead of schedule. If you want to see where we get most of our information from, I'll have the Captain Balrick's Arsenal linked in the description. And you'll also, of course, have access to my channel, where most of this stuff is discovered. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and good luck.